Let me save you some time. If you're looking for a League starter build, just start as a duelist, become a gladiator, pick blood in the eyes and gratuitous violence, use any attack based skill and scale physical damage. For skill suggestions, I'd suggest puncture or lacerate, and the video is done. Except, before you go, I want you to hear me out and think about what I'm about to tell you. For most people, and this probably includes you, the best League starter is the build you want to end the league with. The best League starter is the build you want to end the league with. What the hell do I mean with that? Well, the idea of a League starter for experienced players is to save time and currency to reach their goal faster. Good League starters will be defined as builds that don't need much gear to be effective. They should be able to start farming maps quickly in order to gain the currency needed to pay for better and more fun characters. The exception to this would be racing-oriented players. They just want to reach the end of the race as fast as possible, and in theory there is a very clear answer on what the best build is. I can't give you that answer because I don't race, and if you're serious about racing, you probably don't even need this video because there are many other things you should improve on first, such as mechanics, map layouts, and efficient leveling strategies. So let me repeat the important part of League starters. The point of League starter builds is to save time and currency so you can play the character that will enable you to reach your goal. What you should be focusing on is what your goal for the game is, or what build you actually want to play. If you want to play a flicker strike build, why would you even consider playing something like bane-occultist? Based on my experience, with good League starter builds, it takes me roughly 24 hours of playtime to reach endgame, and even more to get my Atlas, Delve and all my progression to the point I want to reach. I play a lot of Path of Exile, but 40 hours of playing a character I didn't want to play in order to start a new character that I have to re-level and gear, which takes even more time, especially if you are inexperienced. All of that doesn't make any sense to me anymore. So I had to rethink and reconceptualize the way I see League starter builds. For inexperienced players, it would take over 100 hours of playtime just to start playing the character or endgame you actually want to play. This is very important. I am not complaining about Path of Exile, and I'm not implying that GGG should shorten the path to endgame. I'm talking about a possible misconception of League starters for newer, inexperienced players. The argument is to League start as a widely accepted fast build as a new player in order to farm for your actual character can be a very inefficient choice to the point where you even stop playing the game. If you are a newer player, think about what the implications are for League starters. For experienced and good players, leveling and reaching endgame barely takes any time, and on top of that, they normally put in hundreds of hours into the game, making it an efficient option to pick League starter builds. Knowledgeable players also know how to generate currency early in the league because of the fresh market. Getting to high tier content early is way more profitable than later on. For example, the chaos recipe is actually not a bad thing to do in the first couple of days, because chaos orbs are more valuable. The value decreases very quickly later on, and things like chaos recipe won't be as profitable anymore. So in order to choose your League starter build, you have to figure out which category of player you belong to. Number 1, new to the game. Number 2, watch streamers or other players who has a little experience with the game. Number 3, somewhat experienced player trying to become more efficient. And number 4, good player trying to go fast. For normal playing people or slow players like myself, picking a League starter is very different than for absolutely new players. If you have absolutely no clue about the game and just want to experience it, you can pick any recommended League starter at random, which means my gladiator recommendation at the beginning of the video is exactly for you. It's a very straightforward way to level. Again, this is only if you have no clue or no goal for the game, and I believe Figuring things out yourself will be way more fun than following any build. Just stick to the guideline of scaling physical damage of any attack-based skill. And if you need a recommendation, Puncture or Lacerate are good skills to start with. If you have some experience with Path of Exile, a specific goal, or a specific skill you want to play, and you don't have as much time to play, just league start exactly that character that you have in mind and save your time leveling 2 different ones. Your time is too valuable to start anything else. You might miss out on the early currency, but what's the point of having a lot of currency if you don't have the time to actually play the character? Once you have more game experience, you can choose the class that you want to play in the end, but league start with a skill that doesn't require much gear. I leave a link for possible builds for each class made by other players that I personally either played or know to work well. Then just use regret orbs to get the character you wanted. 120 regret orbs sounds expensive, but especially nowadays, it's very easy to get there. For the last type of player, if you really are experienced and want to find the fastest and most efficient league starter, then I don't think you should be watching these type of videos. Watch Path of Exile speedrunning videos, racing videos, the breakdown of speedrunning, and learn the racing meta. What you want isn't a league starter, it's a racing guide. You might as well be the last exception, which is a very good player just looking for an interesting league starter who also hopes to find something new and interesting. My personal prediction for skills that I look forward to are Warcry builds, wand builds, and the weirdest one being a shield charge build utilizing a wand. I'll put up my list of skills I want to play, and my goal would be to have one of them being able to kill max level Cyrus. I don't have any new interesting league starters though, so sorry for that. To sum everything up, play Gladiator unless you have a specific other character in mind, and if you do have another character in mind, league start as that character or that ascendancy and switch as soon as possible using regret orbs. You don't want to be wasting your time leveling characters you don't want to play. I myself will be streaming Delirium League a lot, so come hang out with me on Twitch if you like. If not, have fun playing.